In this November's issue of DC Comics, Superman will die. The killer is a cosmic villain called Doomsday, but his real name is Stagnant Sales. Superman's just not holding up the bottom line. It's embarrassing enough to see one more American classic go down the economic drain, but it's also a personal blow. Superman flew repeatedly into my life as a kid when I needed him most, and I'm going to miss him. I first met the Man of Steel in the lobby of the Bella Vista Hotel in Cuernavaca, Mexico in 1951, when I was 6. Someone had left behind a comic book that told the tale of Superman's fiery escape from the dying planet of Krypton, and I gobbled it up. It was a story like my own. We had fled my home planet of the United States because of my father's leftist politics, and were cooling our heels in exile south of the border. Unlike Superman, I had no power over my enemies, Mexican kids who hated Yankees like me and said so. But I took courage from the way bullets danced off Superman's chest. And the fact that, with the whole world at his feet, he too had chosen to be a gringo.
Verfluchter Übermensch!
When we got back to the States, I caught up with Superman's adventures on TV. His low-budget leaps barely got him past the camera, but they brought him even closer to my heart. Smaller than most of his enemies and given to mild-mannered, ironic smiles, this Superman looked a lot like my father. He'd even chosen my father's trade, journalism and writing, as his cover. Unfortunately, that's where the likeness ended.
Great Caesar's ghost!
My father was barely getting by.
Where do you think you're going?
A blacklist kept him from working, and he'd lost every penny we had in Mexico. I hadn't seen him smile in months, and with my classmates now calling me a commie and a spick, I was finding it hard to smile myself. Then one afternoon, at the end of a particularly gloomy day, my 14-year-old brother Jim drew me a big red and blue S and pinned it to my shirt. For an hour, he let me pretend I was Superman, flying him and the family on my back. I'll never forget it. My arms outstretched in super flight, my older brother holding onto my shoulders, sailing so high above our problems we could almost punch the sun. As I got older, I lost track of Superman. I did catch up with him in a movie a few years ago, and I was glad to see he'd kept his uncompromising sense of right and wrong. My final image, in fact, is of him girdling the globe at super speed and making it spin backwards, violating his Krypton code of chastity and the laws of physics to turn back time and save the woman he loved from certain death.
It is forbidden for you to interfere with human history.
Hopefully the adventures of this orphaned alien who cherished mankind will be told long after his last comic book is closed. But if his final resting place is to be in the memories of baby boomers like me, then let me say, Superman, you didn't just have powers. You had heart. You took people one at a time and stood up for what was best in each of them. Long before it was fashionable, you never stooped to politics or called anyone a communist to boost your reputation or your market share. And though your powers were far beyond those of mortal men, I thank you for the inspiration, at least, to fly above my troubles when I could, live far away from home when I had to, and when the going got rough, hang on.